The technology that I am going to discuss today is Screencast-o-matic, which is also the technology that I am using to produce this screencast. So what is Screencast-o-matic? This is a program that records voice, video, or any task that you are completing on your computer screen. This program will support our technology plan at Johnsontown Road Elementary by giving us a program that we can create online lessons for our students or lessons that our substitute teachers can show while we are not present. So let's look at some uses in the classroom. Teachers can create lessons for a substitute to show to teach a topic or for students to watch at home. Let's look at an example of a lesson that I have completed.
Alright class, today we're going to do a review lesson over multiplying by single digit numbers. Now we've done this in the past, but we're struggling still a little bit. So we're going to go back and we're going to go over our visual instruction plans that walk us step by step multiplying one of these products.
To multiply a greater number by a one-digit number, repeat the process of multiplying and regrouping until every place value is multiplied.
Step 1.
Step 1. Estimate 1,978 times 7. Think 2,000 times 7 equals what number?
Now we rounded 1,978 to 2,000 because it's close to 2,000. Now remember our trick. Number up our zeros. And we're left with 2 times 7 equals 14. But we can't just get rid of those zeros. We have to add them to our answer. And we come up with an estimate.
Now, I'm not going to show the whole lesson because it's quite long. Now another positive of this program is that teachers can use it to create a flipped classroom. And that is something that education is heading towards. So let's take a look at what a flipped classroom actually is.
In today's video, we're going to be talking about the flipped classroom. This is a model that's gained a lot of popularity in the last couple of years, but it's basically a plan, something many teachers have been doing for years. For many years, English teachers have been assigning reading for homework and then talking about that reading in class. Now in other subjects that's a little bit tougher sometimes, but the idea is there that instead of having a lecture where we present to students in the class and then send them home to do some sort of application or practice activity, we flip that. Instead of doing that homework at home, we designed better activities to do in the class, and we send the lecture home. We do that by adding different things to our websites, like video links to videos of us discussing. These videos can contain our lecture themselves, or activities, or a bunch of different things. But the whole idea being that you take that lecture time and put that as the homework. Now in that class period when you're there and you can work with your students, you have more time to apply towards activities or communicating with them or offering them support on these activities that they normally would be doing at home alone. This also opens up the opportunity to do more complicated activities.
Now, let's look at some use for diverse learners because we all know that our students learn differently. Our visual learners. This technology allows students to watch videos and examples of the technology being used. Students get to see the lecture as it is going on as opposed to just hearing it. And students can go back as many times as they want to watch the lesson being given. Now, our auditory learners. Students not only see the lesson being taught, but they are hearing it being explained. Students are watching videos and listening to the lecture, and students can stop and listen to portions of the lesson again that they did not understand. It is also a program that can help with our kinesthetic learners. Students are working with the technology and completing the lesson with their hands as they are getting the audio and visual instructions as well. And it does not require the students to just sit and listen to a lecture. Once again, they have the opportunity to go back and listen and work through the lesson as many times as they need to grasp the concept. Now, for our special needs students, technology has long been used as an accommodation. Students can watch the lesson as many times as needed, just like our other groups. And what I've noticed with mine is that students love to work with the computer or with technology. And students can work with an aide or a resource teacher, whoever it may be, um, to also work through the lessons. Now, there are some benefits of using Screencast-o-matic. I've linked some sites here that will talk about some different areas of Screencast-o-matic. I've linked some down here that you can read through that give us some benefits of the flipped classroom, which we'll speak more about here in a second. So why a flipped classroom? Let's see a good example.
I'm Aaron Sams. We're here in Woodland Park, Colorado at Woodland Park High School. Flipped learning, I think on a really basic level, is taking what has traditionally been given in a lecture in terms of direct instruction and shifting that out of the class time and then using that recuperated time more wisely, more valuably to really meet the individual learning needs of students. The way I got started doing this is I just started recording my lessons live for my students who were missing class and posting those online for them as a resource. They get to access it when they want to, and that could be at 10 o'clock at night, it could be 6 o'clock in the morning, it could be on the bus to the soccer game. They have control of that. Students would watch those before they came to class, and the class time was work time, engaging in some higher order thinking, and so we didn't have to use our class time for direct instruction. We could shift that out of the class.
There's a site where we go to and we watch our podcast, and it has like all the units.
And during the class period, we're doing labs and applying the skills that we don't get home.
I wish more people would do the flipped classroom. I think it definitely works for every speed of learner.
If a student is a fast learner, they can go through the material as quickly as they want. The slower learners, the students who struggle, they have control of the rate at which they learn the material. So they can pause the teacher, they can rewind the teacher, they can view it multiple times if they need to. If everyone's not doing the same thing at the same time on the same day, my class looks a little chaotic. It looks like a three-ring circus of learning is what I call it. I also give them the option, if they don't want to take my test, to demonstrate their understanding some other way. So I have students making video games, writing comic books, creating art projects. So yeah, the sky's the limit. Whatever they want to do, as long as they can prove to me that they get it, that they're learning, that they understand these things, and it's good enough for me. There's a school in Michigan that has adopted this instructional model for all of their core classes. What they're seeing there is that their failure rates have gone from like in the 40% down to single digits. So that's pretty remarkable there. One of the concerns that educators are really wrestling with these days is the fact that we are preparing our students for jobs that don't exist yet. And I really see flipped learning as a tool that teachers can leverage to help students learn to think, learn to access information when they need it, and to be able to process it in a meaningful way. So I might not be training my kids for a specific job, but I'm giving them the tools, the ability to think and to process and to problem solve that they will need for whatever they end up doing.
All right, as you can see, that's a great video. It's a type of classroom that I think we should be using, or at least implementing somewhat in our classrooms at Johnsontown Road. Now this is also a video that gives you some benefits of using a screencast, which is what we are using right now.
If you've never made a screencast and you're wondering what the term means and why you would use one, here's a simple definition to help you understand. A screencast is a digital recording of your computer screen. It can consist of mouse actions or changes in your web browser. Sometimes you can add video from other sources, and you can add audio files for narration for a screencast, as well as background music to set the tone of your screencast. You know, to get you motivated to using screencasts, I put together some ideas about why you would use them, and you know, being kind of selfish with your time. The first thing that pops up to my mind was saving repeating instructions to everyone, because I'm sure, you know, ask me one more time, and there's a really good way to get around that, and that's having students be directed to watch recordings that cover the course content. And what's great about that is they can watch them 24/7 when they need to review them. And so it makes it very easy for offering online training. Another reason is providing tech support 24/7. Yes, they're available 24/7.
Now, I'm not going to watch that whole video due to time issues that we have. So let's move on. Now, I've got some additional resources for you. The following is a tutorial that I found on YouTube that you can go and click on and watch as many times as you want to tell you how to use Screencast-o-matic.
In this video, we're going to look at Screencast-o-matic.com, which I think is one of the best values in terms of screencasting tools. First, let's go to the website, Screencast-o-matic.com. One of the things I like about Screencast-o-matic is that it's web-based, so there's nothing to initially install on my computer, and the free account offers a generous 15-minute limit for videos, which is definitely longer than other tools, and 15 minutes is a pretty good cutoff. I typically don't like to create any videos even over 10 minutes, so 15 minutes really helps to keep me from going too long. For this video, I'm going to stick with the free account, and later I'll upgrade to the Pro version so I can show you the editing tools. And for $15 a year, Screencast-o-matic's Pro account with all of the editing tools is really, I think, one of the best bargains in screencasting. Another thing I like about Screencast-o-matic is it's just simply so easy to use. Once you visit the website, you simply click Start Recording. At this point, you'll probably be prompted to run the Java applet. Just go ahead and select Run. If your Java is not quite up to date, it'll prompt you to install the latest version.
Now, we're not going to watch all of that as well because it's about a 7-minute video. But what I love about Screencast-o-matic is that it really is easy to use. You go to Screencast-o-matic.com and simply hit Start Recording, and it's as easy as that. Now, I've also linked some helpful websites for you that walk you step by step through most of the comments that she showed on her video. Now let's look at some trends in education. Flipping the classroom, which includes screencasting, becoming more and more popular in education. In our technology classes at IU Southeast, I believe every one that I've taken, we've talked about flipping your classroom. And the following article gives us some reasons why we should do that. So you can click on that and read through it whenever you have some time. But overall, education is changing to becoming more and more technology based. And screencasting is just an example of this, and it plays a major portion. Now, as I said earlier, Screencast-o-matic is very easy to use. To use it, I go to Screencast-o-matic.com, and then all I have to do is hit Start Recording. Now, I'm not going to do it right now because it's already in use for me, and that would take away what I have done already. But it's as simple as hitting Start Recording, and then you go from there. So, if you have any questions about using Screencast-o-matic, you can come to me, or you can watch our tutorials and our videos that have been done in this presentation. Thank you for participating in this online professional development.